Hey y'all, I'm back with part 2 of my reading wrap-ups. Don't forget to like, comment, share my channel, and subscribe. Welcome back to Books with Kimberly. Today we are going over the books that I read in the last quarter of 2023. That's right, I have to go over books that I read in October, November, and December, so stay tuned. The third book I read in the month of November is Chaos Theory by Nick Stone. I have been wanting to read books by this author for a long time, so I was very excited to read this one. I will say that it was a good book. It wasn't overly exciting. There weren't a lot of interesting subplots, but I really love that this book really centered mental health and wellness. This book really talked about a lot of heavy subjects, and they did it by tying in a young romance between two Black characters, so I was all here for it. This book is about Shelby and Andy. Andy ends up randomly drunk texting a number, and the person is Shelby. And so when they find out that, oh, it's you that I'm texting, the two of them spark this really cute friendship. But the both of them are harboring some really dark secrets, a lot of trauma from their past. Shelby has bipolar disorder. Andy is battling alcoholism. And so Chaos Theory is about the two of them building this friendship. But the whole time you know that both of them having such dark past and having so many issues that the two of them coming together and trauma bonding is really going to cause some chaos. I thought this was a really good book. I did want some more, but I still think it was a good book, and I give it 4 stars. Y'all, the last book I read in the month of November was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I had to see what all the hype was about with this book, and this book had me at like page 1. I was enraptured in this book, in this journey. Fourth Wing is about 20-year-old Violet. Her mother, being a huge leader in this country, she forces her to join the Rider Quadrant, meaning Violet will have to go through very intense and hard challenges to become a dragon rider. This book had me, y'all. Violet has this little love triangle going on, so it has all the YA things that I love. A dystopian, magic, love triangle, the character really having to push themselves, going from this person who never trained in their life to be a dragon rider to having to find out how to not only survive this training period, but also how to secure a dragon and learn how to ride. And I was just here for everything. Zayden and her friendship with Dane and the friendship she's growing with the people in her quadrant. I will say that towards the last third of this book, I really didn't know where Rebecca was going with this book, and so it did get a little tiring. This book wasn't very plot driven, but I was okay with that because it was really building the characters, and I figured this is a part of a bigger series, so that's why things were starting off so slow. And I will say that once the big climatic thing happened at the end, I wasn't too much here for it. It was giving Welcome to the Revolution. One of the things that really keeps me from continuing a series is this whole war between the have and the have-nots. I always just love learning and the world building. And once we get to the actual war, that's where I lose interest. So the book was good. It's just ending with that welcome to the revolution. It was giving me that the story was about to go into this place of a rebellion against the government, and I don't know if I was really interested in that. But guess what, y'all? I ended up reading the second book, Iron Flame, in the month of December. The first book in the month of December that I read was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I will say this book dragged for about 60% of the book. It was the same as the first book. It wasn't really plot driven. What I will say is by the end of this book, y'all, I was sold and I am ready for book 3. So I did like the way it ended. It was not giving war of the have and the have-nots. They really had to band together in order to take down a common enemy, which is something I really haven't seen when it comes to a lot of these dystopian YA fantasy books. And so it was very refreshing, and I did enjoy the very end of this book, like literally the last maybe 5 chapters. So that saved the book for me, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I gave Fourth Wing 4 stars as well. I read a total of 5 books in the month of December, and the second book is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. The main character of Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry is Quinn. She keeps this journal that has lists of all of her deep, dark secrets, as well as some fun lists of her favorite movies, some of the things she fantasizes about, some of her goals. And this book ends up in the wrong hands. And this anonymous person tells her that in order for her to get her journal back, she has to complete one of the lists in the book. And this list has confess her love for her best friend, tell her parents that she lied about getting into Columbia. So we are on this ride with Quinn and some new friends that she finds to help her figure out who is holding her journal hostage. Sparks fly between her and a new friend, Carter. This book really talked about how if Black kids aren't the stereotypical Black person, how they're labeled as an Oreo, and that sometimes the white people in their environment don't respect them and say some racist things. I thought this book was wonderful, y'all. I loved everything about it, and I give it 5 stars. Book number 4 was You Make It Feel Like Christmas by Toni, Shiloh. I wanted a Christmas read in the month of December, and this book gave me all the Christmas romantic feels. And one of the things that I really loved about this book, it was also faith-based, which I did not know, because y'all know I don't read the back of books. So I was just really surprised at how a lot of the characters reference praying, Jesus, and God being the reason for the season. And I just thought that that really was such a great addition to this book. So even though I wasn't getting the steaminess, I was getting faith-based, and I was really getting characters who, with every conflict that happened, they were praying to God for strength and God to lead them into making the best decisions. And I just thought that was so beautiful and so touching. I need to read more faith-based books. So this book is about Star, who just lost her job and she's going home for the holidays. And while she is home, her sister is planning her Christmas wedding to Star's ex-boyfriend. So you feel so bad for Star because she's in this awkward position of being a bridesmaid in her sister's wedding to her ex, the ex that dumped her in order to be with the sister. But we have Waylon, who comes in. He's one of Star's brother's friends, and the two of them spark up this friendship and this romance. So I just thought this was such a cute Christmas read, and it gave me all the feels. I gave this book 5 stars. The next book was One Christmas by Brenda Jackson, another Christmas novel. I thought this book was really cute as well. It takes place in Catalina Cove, Louisiana, which is close to New Orleans. I believe it's fictional, but y'all know I love a Louisiana reference. The book is about Sierra Crane and Von Miller. Sierra is just focusing on her cafe and her goddaughter, who she has primary custody of. She is not looking for love, but when Von Miller comes in, he just sweeps her off her feet, and the two of them start to go on little dates. And I just absolutely love how Vaughn was so nice to her goddaughter and how the three of them would hang out. So I'm gonna have to check back into Catalina Cove, Louisiana with Brenda Jackson and see what other books are in this series, because I really enjoyed One Christmas and give it 5 stars because it gave me all the Christmas and romantic feels. The last book that I read in the month of December in the year of 2003 was a nonfiction book that I had to slide in there, y'all. I am not a nonfiction girly, but I try to get in at least one nonfiction book a year. And I chose Bad Fat Black Girl, Notes from a Trapped Feminist by Sesalie Bowen. I did enjoy this book. I didn't agree with everything that I was reading, but I really enjoyed the first chapter, which Sesalie went into her life as a fat black girl, and I related to so much of that. She referenced a lot of rap songs from City Girls to Trina, and how this helped build her knowledge on trap feminism. What I really appreciated about this book is it has me doing research. After I finished it, I actually spent the weekend researching feminism. It really reminded me of the importance of reading nonfiction. It is to learn, it is to challenge myself, and to really research and look up the things that I'm reading. So I actually look forward to reading more nonfiction in 2024. I give this book 4 stars. I took off a star not because I didn't agree with everything that Sesalie says in this book, but because it was given a little too much autobiography. Some of the stories did help me understand the concept of trap feminism, but some of the stories kind of lost me, and it was given autobiography. As a person who's not a big fan of memoirs, it kind of lost me at certain chapters. Y'all, that is it for all the books that I read in the last quarter of 2023. Thank you for watching another Books with Kimberly video.